Hey, how's it going, my people? Just Wild Riley here at it again. I have a little suggestion for those of you that have stockpiled a lot of rice and maybe you're thinking about rotating out your rice. You can make booze with it. Did you know you can make alcohol with your rice? Pretty easy. This is what I'm doing here. So I have my rice. It's right out of the pot, sticky white rice. I have a mortar and pestle. And in that mortar and pestle, I'm grinding up these little rice balls. That's what the ingredients say on them. Rice and water, but they're yeast balls. They have a special type of fungus. And this is how you make sake. So you grind those two balls up into the mortar and pestle. Kind of mash them down until they're dust. Then you take a pinch of that and you inoculate your rice. Pretty straightforward. And I was just doing kind of a grid pattern. I'd go up and down and back and forth. And the reason why you lay this rice out on the pan is A, so it cools a little faster, and B, so you can mix the yeast in there evenly. So I'm going to mix that rice with the yeast nice and evenly. I'll kind of mix it around with a little spatula, and then I'm going to transfer all this dry rice. It's obviously been cooked, so it has water content in it. That goes into this big jar. And then that's it. You cover it up, and as this rice begins to break down, you end up with sake. Also, these little balls, they're not too expensive and they store pretty well, and you don't have to have a lot of inputs. A good friend of mine and I were talking about this. If you want to make beer, you have to have all this stuff: chlorinated TSP, corn sugar, malt, a lot of inputs. But for this sake, you cook the rice. You could use rainwater, tap water, bottled water. It's rice. You make your sticky rice. You grind up the yeast balls. You sprinkle that dust over your rice. And you just pack that jar with the product and it turns into sake. Within a few weeks, you'll know when it's done because it'll be full of water. There'll be a little bit of rice, kind of soggy at the bottom, and you strain it out and filter it if you want. Maybe crash the yeast and you rack it. My buddy uses a conical fermenter that works pretty good. Just jets the yeast out right at the bottom. Or you can drink a hazy sake. But a good option, kind of when the world's doing great, it's fun to make. But when times get lean and maybe can't afford alcohol, you can make it pretty quick, pretty easy, with very little input. So I thought I'd post this just so that you all have an idea. Especially rice is pretty cheap even now, and you can buy a few 100 pounds of rice and make alcohol on the fly. And you can use that to trade. You can use it to sip on. You can freeze it, take the ice cubes out, and keep doing that and make it a little bit stronger. So consider your sake product. All right, this is old Wild Riley out. I just thought I'd show you another cool trick. Thanks for watching.